Hello and welcome to Octomoves Member Spotlight. Today we have Tere. Tere, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Please introduce yourself and share with us whatever you would like to share.
Okay. My name is Tere Jones. I'm a pediatric nurse. I take care of sick children for a living. I started rope flowing in July of this year. I found it online and I watched a lot of videos, and your videos really appealed to me. And one of the best things I saw that really made me want to buy a rope and start was that you said low tech tool makes a high tech human. And I loved that. I loved that it was about creativity and movement. And so I bought my first rope,
Mhm.
and I was a disaster.
Can you name a few?
I have the Flowzilla was the first one that I got.
Mhm.
And then I got a Funky Zen rope. I actually asked your company which one would be the next best one. And so I got the Funky Zen, which I use anytime I'm learning new moves or new tricks, because it's lighter and a little bit easier for me to learn, and it doesn't hurt when I hit myself as bad. And then I use the Flowzilla most of the time, and I just got the Kraken, which I love. I love it, but I'm out of town now, and I only used it a couple of times before I left. So I look forward to using it again when I get back. But I have my Flowzilla with me. That's the one I travel with.
Okay. Okay. Why did you choose it?
Which one? The Flowzilla?
Yeah, for
I,
your travel.
I chose it for the travels because it's the middle one. And usually when I travel, I'm not trying to learn a bunch of new things. I'm just make sure I move every day. So I
Mhm.
just take the middle one.
I love that word composition of "I move every day." This is our mission to bring back the joy for people of movement, so that we will move like every single day. So it's like we are brushing the teeth, and like movement is the same kind of thing. And well, since we are not moving that much these days, a lot of sitting and stuff, so at least a little bit, it's what actually propels us to move forward. So happy to hear that.
Yes, I am also a health coach, and I definitely encourage my clients. One of the things I make sure is that they have movement in their day. And one of the things I really like about rope flow and about the way that you go about it in your company, my my group now, but I really love that it feels like stuff I used to do when I was a kid. I love that I feel like I create new things every day, and when I can link two moves, it makes me so excited because it's just something I created, and I feel like a kid playing instead of like I'm exercising or doing something like that, which is what I really like.
Yeah, exactly. I really like to bring back that playful approach for adults, especially um, since we are so serious and trying to being adults. So this is the perfect way where we actually like nobody actually sees our thoughts or hears them. So why not to be some sort of superhero while you rope flowing? Because it's so easy to imagine some fantasy tale or whatever. It can be like sci-fi setting up. It's your mind. Like even if you close your eyes, like oh, you're slaying dragons over there.
That's so true. I love that it uses my imagination, and I love that I have to practice to get better because I do a lot of things every day in my nursing career that I'm good at. And I
Mhm.
don't have to practice anymore to get better because I'm good at them. I learn new things all the time. But I also work with kids all the time, and they're always having fun. Even when they're sick, they try to have fun and they try to use their imagination for things. And so it brought that back in me. I'm
Mhm.
I have that in my nature anyway, that I like to play and play games and do fun things. And this brought it to my movement every day, which is nice. Even if I can only move for 5 minutes, I carry the ropes in my car all the time. Just get out of my car, throw the rope for a few minutes, and I feel so much better and so much more alive. I love it.
Yeah, it energizes us. Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. Why it's important for you to have fun and play?
I think it's good because it makes me feel alive. I think when you don't have fun in life, it can just drag you down. You know, a lot of things happen in life, good things, bad things, regular things. But if you have fun doing things, I always try to find the fun and the humor in things, and it
Mhm.
really makes a difference. Because it's not like my life is perfect and everything's gone smoothly. But when it doesn't, I try to find the humor and try to find things about it that I can learn from and that are fun to move on. And so this just fuels me to think that way. And that's what I like about it.
Lovely, lovely. So, since we know that you're moving every single day, do you have any sort of structure when you doing that session, or is it free flow, or you kind of have some ways how you trying to manage it or learn it? How does it look like?
Usually, well, first I just do some general movements when I first start. I usually rope flow in the morning and in the evening, twice a day. And so I usually just do some matadors and some just regular flow that's pretty easy. And then in the evening, I usually watch videos and try to learn something new.
Mhm.
And so when I do that, I watch the video first. I usually watch it several times so that I can get the feel of it. And then I try it. Sometimes that's really hard and sometimes it works out really well. But I try to learn something new and practice it until I have it down. Right now I'm still trying to learn the sneak. It's sneaky.
Yes, 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 it is.
But I'm doing better at it. Do it on one side now, but I can't do it on the other side. So I'm
Oh,
currently learning.
that's
Yeah.
perfect. You will learn from yourself now. So, do you have any thought processing, like how you're learning? What's the system behind you using that?
Really, I think my thought process is just to be moving. I love listening to music when I do it because I can flow freer when I do that. When I'm learning new things, I don't usually listen to music until I have some sort of pattern down. But I find that listening to music really helps me free flow and be in the moment and not worry about what I'm doing or if I'm going to hit myself with the rope, or I get out of, if you want to say, I get out of the mechanics of it and into the flow of it if I listen to music. So that's what I like to do.
So with music is more relaxing. Without music and silence, it's more focused work that you would like to achieve something. So
Right.
do you have any plan like for the session how you're going to do something, or it's just like, yeah, I want to learn sneak, so I will do something towards it?
That's what I do when I'm just flowing the rope, like in the morning when I'm just trying to wake my body up and like that. I don't have a plan. I go with music and I just go with what I feel like doing. And sometimes the other day I shocked myself because I put moves together that I had no thought about doing, and I loved that. I loved that it just flowed that direction. So I
Yeah,
really like
that's
that.
the feeling. That's the feeling.
Exactly.
That's
And
the force that we want to feel.
it's perfect because like I said, I remember laughing and almost cheering myself on because I did something I wasn't trying to do, that I wasn't, it just happened, and I love that. And then in the evening when it's more, a little more work, I'm more focused on what I want to learn that day or what I want to practice that day. And so I don't do that every day. Sometimes I just flow both times, but I try to learn something new at least every week.
Did you had any like standing out obstacle in your learning process? that you needed to find out the way how to overcome it?
That's a really good question. um, I think one of my biggest obstacles was being self-conscious because I can't find another person where I live that understands what I'm doing. And I've talked to everyone about it and how excited I am about it. And everybody just looks at me like, what are you talking about? So I always show them your video or something like that. But I think now that I'm used to doing it, that doesn't bother me anymore, that people look at me like I'm crazy if I'm out throwing a rope, because I have so much fun doing it. I don't care.
Well, that's the most important part, I guess. In surfing, we have saying that best surfer is the one who is having most fun.
Yeah.
But usually the one that is having most fun is usually also the one that is actually the better than others, because he's doing the craziest things as easy as possible. So I guess the rope flow is it's always the same, but we can have always have the fun, and it's really personal feeling.
Right, right. I did have neck surgery about 20 years ago. And so my back is a lot, like sore because I don't move it and I sit for work right now. I'm sitting a lot. And so one of the other things physically that I had to overcome was just being able to move my back.
Mhm.
And and it feels so good to do that. And I know I've heard you say open up the spine and activate the spine, and it really does that. And so my neck surgery didn't pose any problem other than just the stiffness, but it gets relieved by the rope flow, which is really exciting to me.
Yeah, this is really amazing, and I'm super happy for you that not only mental but physical things you reaping all those benefits you can find. So yeah, it's super nice. If you can simply explain your relationship with the rope flow, what that would be.
Um, the first thing I thought of was that I feel like I found a new friend.
Good. That's one of the ideas I was asking people to name their rope.
Yeah, that's funny. I name my cars, I name everything, but the ropes came with names, so I didn't give them an extra name.
Oh yeah, we already have, and some people really like that name, and we use it. Like these are my names that I
I
came
know.
up with for those ropes. I have like personal stories behind each name, how I got into that,
Huh,
and we all have like a deeper meaning into it. So, I put some thoughts and attention into that name, just the naming, and which is quite cool thing. And many people also adopting it, and we like those names, so it's fun. It's nice to see,
right.
like, yeah.
I did hear, well, I didn't see the release of the other two ropes that I have, but I did see the release of the Kraken rope, and I heard you explain how you named it, and I really liked that because when I name a car or things like that, I always have some meaning behind what I'm thinking of that way. So I'd be interested to know how you named the other ropes.
I actually don't know if I have talked with somebody about the naming them, how I named them, like all the names.
I'm sure they're good stories.
Well, we kind of simple. We have just made basically we have a meaning for myself. So I can share today with you the Phoenix story.
Uh-huh.
So right in the beginning, with me and Tautvdas, we've been testing, I know, dozens of different ropes, and to looking for that best one that we can. And we had like uh, from one company, we have like small samples, and there's like one rope that I've been using. I really liked it, but we actually went for with a different one, and that different one was the black swan. There's another story about that naming, but coming back to this one, we kind of put it to the side, and after a while we actually kind of evoked it and like, let's make this one. And this was kind of, it flies so good. It feels really nice when you flow it. And it was the rope that actually raised from the ashes like a phoenix.
Uh-huh.
It was red, Yeah, and it's like, okay, Phoenix fits the red, there's fire, and that rope is actually was pushed away on the side, and it become the my favorite rope, and it actually become a bestseller in Octomoves. And it's like that's like most of the ropes that we are selling is the Phoenix. So that was like a really cool kind of coincidences that everything actually even made that war that name stronger for it.
Uh-huh.
So that's how Phoenix was born, basically risen from the ashes, and
I
and
like
uh,
it.
and a literal terms in the for us in the company.
I like that. Thank you for that. That's really interesting. I like that.
So yeah, so enough about the the naming. I want to hear more about you and to ask you if you have any kind of goals within rope flow.
Um, my goal for rope flow is to be able to do it just smoothly for long periods of time, like to be able to link enough moves and be free enough to do it without really thinking so that I can get lost in the movement. That's my goal. And I every time I hit that moment, because it happens now and then, or a few moves in a row, I get excited because I can see that if with enough practice I can get there.
So, what are the biggest challenges for you to achieving it?
I think just practicing and learning the more difficult moves so that I have a whole bag full of tricks that I can use. I don't like calling them tricks. They don't feel like tricks, but that's for lack of better words. Um, I just like all the moves. And then, I learned them each individually. And then, like I said, the other day, I linked several of them and thought, oh my God, that was so cool. How did I do that? But if I practice, it happens more often. I'm hoping.
Mhm.
And so that's why I practice, even if I only have 10 minutes. Sometimes before I go to work, I just throw the rope for 10 minutes and then I go to work. And I feel so much better when I do that.
Yeah, I totally get you because those days, when I start a day without any kind of movement in the morning, I feel shit until I go and do something. And it's like I haven't done like I've been doing for something else for a couple of hours, and you feel something is not right. And just like, okay, I'm just standing here and I will do whatever I can just to move, like stretch it out, like just light exercise. Either it can be rope flow, but if like sometimes I end up without doing anything, rushed morning, so you find out myself like in the office just doing something or
Right.
rope flowing. So
Right. I think the other obstacle that I run into is at work. I have a small office and I can't throw the rope in my office. I have an office alone, but I can't throw it. And if I go outside my office, I'm in the middle of a hospital and I can't do it there either. So, but I did learn and I love your challenges. I did learn from watching the challenge how to flow in a tight space. And so
yeah,
now I can flow it was raining in LA not long ago, and so I could throw the rope in the hallway of my apartment building because I watched that video, and so I was really excited that I knew enough to do that. So I'm learning to do different things in different spaces, so I don't have to sacrifice my rope flow.
exactly. And these challenges are it's more, yeah, we want to kind of encourage you to engage and do something more, but each of those challenges has the lessons behind of it. And uh, I kind of like to do everything intentionally and with the reason why I do it certain way. I can always give an answer why there's something there or why there's none over there, like in my courses. And there's like always the reason behind that. So I just kind of want to invest a bit of time and think through things and how people can benefit in that way, and which way is better to do it. Is it to give it or not to give it? So sometimes as a coach, you're thinking about those things. As an instructor, you kind of need to instruct. So but I kind of navigating between training and being a coach. It's more like a guide, especially when with the people who are already progressing further. Like beginning is just instructing. When you start training and when you start developing your personal practice.
Right. Yeah, I like the way that you train, and I like that you have intention behind things because it helps me understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. I tend to have, I do some things very intentionally, and other things I do quite unintentionally on purpose. And so, being a nurse, I do a lot of intentional things at work. But
Mhm.
in my own personal life, I tend to be more spontaneous, more impulsive, and rope flow fits in both of those worlds because when I'm training with it, I am more intentional and I practice and practice, and I haven't done anything in a very long time that I had to practice to get better at, and so I really like that, and I like seeing myself progress and get better. And I'm also a snow skier. I haven't skied in a long time, but that was how that went too. I had to practice and practice and practice until I was really good. And when I was really good, I loved it. And that's how I feel about rope flow. The better I get, the more I love it.
Yeah, that's lovely words, and yeah, there's a lot of lessons behind it, and learning is, yeah, I love learning. It makes me feel alive,
Mhm,
and like there's a quote from James Clear that I actually really liked it. He said, like, stop learning, die young,
mhm.
keep learning, stay young.
That's so true. My father is a doctor and he just turned 90 years old and he still goes to his continuing education. He does it online, but he goes to his continuing education still, and he keeps his license active even though he's 90 years old. So I learned from that.
Oh, that's lovely. And yeah, that's the best way to learn from example that is so close by.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right, Tere. Before we finish, I would like to hear your advice for Robflow community, whatever you would like to give.
My advice would be keep practicing and keep flowing because I think that that's how I get better and that's what gives me the most joy. And I think that works for other people too. So that's what I would say. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Thank you, Tere. That was wonderful to chat with you.
Thank you. It was great being here.
Yeah, thank you all for tuning in and listening us. And as always, if you had any insights and want to share what you took up from our conversation, please share that in the comments below. And may the flow be with all of us. Have a good one.